Global Times, 13th of September 2023, Huawei displays a phony example of the Made in China 2019 model's robustness. Tuesday local time saw the launching of the iPhone 15 series by Apple. The date of Huawei's upcoming international 5G phone series introduction is of greater importance to me than information regarding the forthcoming improved Apple phone. 10 years ago, I fled China for employment in Brazil just as Huawei handsets entered the local market. As I departed Brazil in 2016 to return to China, Huawei had already deployed 10 million units throughout Latin America. At the time, Brazil lagged behind other South American nations where Huawei's mobile phone had double-digit market shares. According to recent reports, however, 1,610 locations are expected to have 5G networks operational by the end of 2023's second half, according to Brazil's telecom regulator Anatel. This makes it possible for Huawei's newest models, aimed at those who cannot afford an Apple phone, to be introduced in Brazil at huge discounts. Due to US chip restrictions, the Huawei smartphone has dropped from the top in the worldwide market share to merely 4% of the market, Q1 2021. And for good reason. Among the reasons why Samsung and Apple have expanded over the years, reaching a record high of 3 trillion yuan in market value at one point for a Chinese company that imitates Apple. The Demand Sage website reports that the iPhone has a 27.6% smartphone market share worldwide, whereas the iPhone had 13% and Huawei phones 16% in 2019. Apple will not be pleased with the resurrection of Huawei's 5G phone, a low-end model. Apple's market worth dropped by $190 billion in the last 3 days. The primary cause is that the Chinese market has consistently been the iPhone's most important. The 5G smartphone from Huawei upends Apple's current comfort. It might encourage Apple to increase its R&D expenditures to produce low-end, low-cost products. Naturally, the Huawei 5G smartphone will only have a minor effect on the iPhone in China's local market. Once they reach international markets, the real struggle will start. The primary consequence of Huawei's 5G smartphone re-entering the global market will still be determined by how much more the industrious made-in-China company can accomplish in the US to reduce the amount of made-in-China goods sold there. Washington's sanctions policy against China aims to solidify US dominance in the global market by removing made-in-China products from Western and international markets through supply chain and production reconfiguration. Regaining market share will be difficult, even if Huawei's 5G smartphones progress significantly. There have been differences between the US and European mobile phone markets, particularly in light of the US sanctions still in place and the ban on Huawei equipment because of security issues. These variables have significantly impacted both regions' mobile phone customers. Compatibility with Google services is still a significant concern for users around the globe. In the Chinese domestic market, Huawei's 5G phones will compete with the iPhone, and the company expects a relatively rapid increase in market share for its phones. However, with nearly half of all smartphone users in the US using an iPhone, the device will continue to have a significant competitive advantage in the US market. Shortly, this position will mostly remain unchanged. Two crucial queries must be considered: how much of the Chinese market can Huawei capture from the iPhone? Secondly, and perhaps most importantly, how can Huawei's 5G phone increase its market share internationally? With the release of Huawei's 5G smartphone, the company's mobile devices are expected to exhibit their tenacious and hard-working nature as they progress through the development of 5.5G, 6G, and 7G. This is due to Huawei's ability to copy technology, significant state subsidies, assembly production capacity, and all-encompassing support from the Made in China initiative. Unquestionably, made-in-China products are more aggressive than just cloning mobile phones in the worldwide market, which Huawei represents. That is Washington's most significant concern.